The small town of Willowbrook was bordered by Hollow Creek Forest, a dense and ancient woodland that the townspeople avoided at all costs. Legends spoke of a curse that befell anyone who entered the forest after dark. Disappearances were common in the town's history, always linked to the sinister woods. One summer, a group of teenagers, led by the adventurous Jack, decided to test their courage and spend a night in the forest. Jack, along with his friends Emily, Brian, and Sarah, dismissed the warnings as mere superstitions. Armed with flashlights, tents, and snacks, they ventured into the forest as the sun began to set. As night fell, the forest seemed to close in around them. The air grew thick and oppressive, and the sounds of nocturnal creatures created an eerie symphony. They set up camp in a small clearing, lighting a fire to stave off the chill that had settled. Laughing and telling ghost stories, they tried to ignore the growing sense of unease. Around midnight, a dense fog began to roll in, swallowing the light from their fire and flashlights. The shadows grew longer and darker, and the forest seemed to come alive with whispers and unseen movements. Suddenly, the fire went out, plunging them into darkness. Panic set in as they fumbled to relight the fire, but their matches were damp, and the fog muffled their cries for help. Emily suggested they stay close together and wait for dawn, but Jack insisted on finding a way out. Against their better judgment, they followed him deeper into the forest. The whispers grew louder, forming incoherent words that sent shivers down their spines. Sarah, lagging behind, screamed as she felt a cold hand grip her ankle. She was pulled into the darkness, her screams abruptly silenced. The remaining three huddled together, terrified and unsure of what to do. Brian, trying to be brave, took the lead, but soon the fog thickened, and they lost sight of him. His screams echoed through the forest, then were cut off abruptly. Jack and Emily were the only ones left, clutching each other in terror. They stumbled through the fog, desperately trying to find a way out. Suddenly, the fog parted, revealing an old, decrepit cabin. Seeing no other option, they hurried inside and barricaded the door. The whispers outside grew into a cacophony of voices, pounding on the walls and windows. They found an old diary on a dusty table, its pages filled with the ravings of someone who had faced the same terror. The diary spoke of a curse placed on the forest centuries ago by a vengeful spirit, trapping the souls of those who entered it. The only way to break the curse was to survive the night and leave before the sun rose. As the whispers turned into guttural growls, the cabin shook violently and the windows shattered. With dawn approaching, Jack and Emily made a desperate run for it. They followed the faint light of the rising sun, the whispers and shadows close behind. Just as the first rays of sunlight broke through the trees, they burst out of the forest, collapsing in exhaustion. The townspeople found them at the forest's edge, trembling and incoherent. Jack and Emily never spoke of what happened in the forest, but the look in their eyes told a story of unimaginable horror. Hollow Creek Forest remained a dark, cursed place, its whispers waiting for the next unwary soul to enter its depths.